You know what you should do? You should follow me on Twitter at Bromo018. Link in the description. Do it now. Hello everyone, Bromo18 here. Thanks so much for joining me today in what is episode 5 of our realistic rebuild of Manchester United on PES 2020 Master League. Thanks a lot for being with me today. If you haven't checked out any of the previous episodes before episode 5, then I highly advise you to go and watch those ones first before coming on to this one. You will miss an awful lot. There is a lot to get through today, so let's not beat around the bush about it. Before I can move on to certain points, first of all, let me show you the highlights of the games that we have played in between episode 4 and episode 5. We begin with the game against Preston, and I decided for both of these games I was going to use the youth players, and it worked out very well. This goal is all about Mason Greenwood. In fact, the game is all about Mason Greenwood. Brilliant strength shown there, a 1-2 played, receives the ball back and unleashes a left-footed shot into the back of the net, which as we all know is just as good as his right. He wasn't done there either, as Angel Gomez, who really impressed in these two games, feeds through Greenwood just before half-time, and Greenwood, once again on his left foot, is able to slot it past the keeper. And as you'll see in the next game as well, the youth players who came in to these two games performed really well and have certainly put forward their names for a spot in the first team. We move on to the Antwerp game now. Greenwood this time passes it back to Luke Shaw. Shaw gets it onto his right, whips it in, and Daniel James is on the end of the cross to make it 1-0. Started off the season very well, Daniel James, and whilst in the last couple of games his opportunities have been slightly less frequent, he's certainly still there in my plans, as he proved so just here. Mason Greenwood also wants in on the action as always. Ball gets fed through to Angel Gomez, who once again can slot Greenwood through. Link-up play, very good indeed. And Greenwood with one touch to take it past the defender, then can unleash a shot and slot it past the keeper. And as a result, the full-time score away at Antwerp was 2-0. So, in terms of the league table, that leaves the Europa League group stage looking like this. 3 wins out of 3, a possible 9 points completed. Sparta Moscow follow closely on 6 points. They of course have 2 wins and 1 loss against us, and then FC Fun and Royal Antwerp really struggling at the bottom. They drew against each other, which means they both only have 1 point. And with our young boys playing so well in that Europa League game, we can definitely think about them returning in more Europa League fixtures, seeing what they can do, because they played extremely well indeed. In terms of the FA Cup, we have been drawn against Wolves, which is going to be a very tough game. Make no mistake about that. And that will, of course, take place in January. So we've got that down the line to look forward to. See what we can do in the FA Cup for sure. Do want to challenge in that this season. See if we can make a push, to win the trophy. So elsewhere, like I said, there's a lot of news to get through. I'm trying to think which is best first. I guess transfer negotiations first. If we go here, you'll see I've put in an offer for James Maddison, 31 million. That is apparently, well, it was supposed to be, yeah, it is his release fee. So we'll see how this one goes. We're in negotiations with the player currently. Now, people were saying to me in the comments of previous videos, with Matic going to Leicester, they were saying put Matic in a trade deal with James Maddison. Now, the issue I had with that was if we put Matic down towards James Maddison, the game wouldn't register the fact that they would bear that in mind with the release fee. So they'd still ask for the release fee. So it would have been cheaper for us just to do this and pay his release clause. So it's just over 30 million. So we've gone with that instead. Whereas Matic, of course, we did make just over 20 million. So we'll see how this one goes. Decided to go for him in the end. I've got ideas about the sort of systems we're going to play and stuff should we sign him, but we won't go into that yet. First of all, we have got to win him over in the negotiations, so we'll see how that one goes. Another order of business, you'll have noticed at the start of the save in episode 1, we did put it on top player. Now, I'm winning every game pretty much on top player, despite the fact we're generally played teams lower down, although we have played Tottenham and Chelsea as well. I've decided perhaps it is a little bit too easy, so I've decided to up the match level to Superstar, and we'll see how this one plays out. You know, still working it out really. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it will be more of a challenge, but not too much of a challenge, so much that I'm losing every game, in which case we will have a decision to make. But we'll see how it goes anyway. In this episode, I have decided, if we can get onto the schedule here, we are going to do Sheffield United, the Sheffield United game at home today. Might do Aston Villa as well. It depends on the amount of highlights, I guess, that we're going to have in the game and how much stuff is going on. Of course, we will have negotiations and so on and so forth in the background. So, moving on to the team today. And we've reverted back to, you know, the predominant first team players after those 2 games with the youth players. But with that in mind, you know, a couple of youth players really making a push now. Angel Gomez is one. We come on to him here. He really did impress me in those 2 games. Played very well indeed. Only 19. So I'll bring you onto the bench today because I do believe he can come on and make an impact should we need him to. You know, he's just really having a little spell of good form at the moment. So hopefully he can really make a push through. As I say, only 19. Got a long way to go. Lots of improvement still to be done. But the future is looking promising. The same with this man here, Mason Greenwood, who is, you know, really taking the league by storm at the moment. Might even be, I think he is actually top goal scorer. It's him or Martial anyway. So, you know, it's looking good. One thing that keeps coming up as well in the comment section that we may as well mention now is the captain. Now, everyone's saying, and I do know this to be the case, make Pogba captain and it will boost the team spirit. And it will, as you can see, it will boost it from a 71 to an 85. Now, okay, I will give in and I will do it. But the reason I haven't been doing it is because I just can't personally bring myself to do it. You know, I just don't think in real life Pogba is a quality player. You know, he's got so much ability, but I just do not think he's captain material. You know, I don't think he's the man. And as a result, you know, that influences me on this. And I know it shouldn't, you know, it's real life, it's a video game, you know, you should just do what you got to do. But, you know, there's just something that's been putting me off. I wanted Maguire to be our guy. I've already trained him, actually, if you have a look here, with the captaincy skill. He doesn't start with that. I've trained that into him. We're trying to get him to the point where he will, you know, boost our team spirit as well. So we'll see how that one goes. He's my captain in the long term. I want him to be captain. I guess for now, we'll go with Pogba for the sake of team spirit. But, you know, I'm not happy about this. That's what I want people to know. I'm not happy about this. So if I have a look at the team today, it's very standard. Finally, we got David De Gea back in goal after that little mishap. The defence remains very steady other than Jamal Lewis, who has impressed me a lot more than Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw has been hit and miss, to say the least. So I'm really happy with the way Jamal Lewis has started the season. Only disappointing thing is that he isn't going up in overall, because I think he's playing really well and he deserves to be. So, you know, we're going to keep an eye on that anyway. Scott McTominay will stay in defensive mid. Pogba, of course, at centre midfield. Donny van der Beek will get the nod this time instead of Juan Mata. Lingard on the right, Martial on the left, and Rashford at top. People keep telling me to put Martial at top, but I don't see why we should, because Martial is scoring so many goals and he's doing it from the left. And the reason why is because he can pick the ball up from deeper, he can drift in off the wing and come centrally. You know, he's really got more influence in that position, and I think it's working out really well for him. So I don't see the point in moving him up to striker. I think it's working well for him there. Rashford, of course, only got, I think, 1 goal so far this season, so we need to see an upturn in form from him for sure. But Martial on the left is working more than adequately, in my opinion. Looking at the Sheffield United team, you know, it's very standard, the 5-3-2. They've got a bit more defensively on. They can actually have a man push up into that number 10 role should they need. Ravel Morrison would be ideal for that role, actually, but they do stick with a flat central 3 at the moment. These are a good side, Sheffield United, and we'll see how that reflects in game. But I'm expecting a tough game, to say the least. In terms of the tactics, people are asking me if I can do a quick sort of breakdown, have a look, show you what I do. So this is what I'll go through. We go counter-attack in terms of the attacking style, suits us down to the ground with our pace and energy. Short pass, you know, we do try and maintain that sort of sweet and neater build-up play if possible. Maintain formation, quite rigid actually in terms of that sort of area. Attacking area wide, of course, that's where our strength is in my opinion. Again, down the wings. Support range, very mid. You know, that sort of helps with a counter-attacking system really. And then onto defensive instructions, we do frontline pressure all out defence depending on the opposition. So against Sheffield United we all go frontline pressure. Of course against someone like Tottenham, you might remember, we did change to all out defence and it worked out quite well in that game as well. Containment area, we like to shift them out to the wing, don't like them to play through the middle, especially not in this system that they're playing where they've got more players down the middle. Aggressive pressuring, defensive line middle at the moment, and that reason is because you know, I'm still uneasy about playing such a high line. I find it easy for opposition players to get in behind. And compactness, I like to be very narrow, very compact indeed. Don't let players get the space to run in the middle of you know, your lines. So yeah, that's what we go with. In terms of the mark settings, I always set them to the best I can as well. Usually the two centre backs on the two strikers. This time with the left backs, we're going to have them marking, or the full backs should I say, we're going to have them marking the Sheffield United wing backs. And then the wingers get a bit more of a free roll as a result. So we'll see how that one goes. Anyway, looking forward to this game today, expecting a tough game. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, whatever time of day or night it is with you, welcome along to a game which is threatened, I have to tell you, by a rather forbidding weather forecast. The expectation is for quite heavy rain as the game grows older this evening. It hasn't arrived just yet, but it will do shortly. Glad to report, though, that that hasn't affected the crowd, who are here in good number and indeed in good voice. And the game will be underway very soon. So red and white, of course, the preeminent colours.
Go on then guys, let's see how we can adapt to the superstar difficulty today.
And he always seems to pick the perfect moment to rush off.
Martial, good touch. Looks for Rashford. Give and go, Van der Beek. He can go in behind here. It's a great run from Lingard. Lingard, he's through on goal. Great finish, 1-0. 6 minutes gone and Manchester United break the deadlock early on. The build-up play is neat. It's a give and go actually from Rashford, but it's Lingard who's the recipient of the pass. Van der Beek can feed him through and Lingard just has the pace on the centre half, and it's a good finish. Dean Henderson, of course, Manchester United know all about him. Can't get to it because it's so well finished. Well placed indeed. And Jesse Lingard, who's got a bit of criticism in the comments section over the course of the series, has started off the season really well and he continues his goal scoring form. It's 1-0.
Top defending and preventing him turning, which can open up many possibilities.
Lingard. One more to Van der Beek. Poor ball in the end. Van der Beek can come out wide to Wan-Bissaka. Lingard makes a good run. He's got Van der Beek running through. Shoots! Great finish. 2-0. Donny Van der Beek this time, teaming up with Jesse Lingard to return the favour of setting up the goal. And Wan-Bissaka picks up that space where Lingard has run into. Lingard peels off well. Finds Van der Beek, who's overlapping on the run through the middle. And it's a nice finish. Just to lever it in. Again, really well placed. Right into the bottom left-hand corner. And Manchester United, who haven't had a load of chances in this first half, still find themselves 2-0 up here. Good start. Oh, somehow got the opportunity to bring it down. Calm save for De Gea in the end. And as we play at the field, the ref will probably blow for half-time. He does. It's 2-0 so far. A good performance from us. Not a lot of highlights for me to show you guys, unfortunately, because the AI literally just pass it around the back. Occasionally boot it upfield. Maguire will collect it in the air and will go And if the attack breaks down, the same happens. Just repeat. You know. But apart from that, really good start. 2-0. We've been very clinical. Only 2 shots on target. The only thing is, can we, you know, perhaps give the ball away a little bit less in the final third, and expand the amount of chances we're having. Let's see in the second half. Maguire should be winning that, but he doesn't. Morrison now has an opportunity, but it should have been well won by McTominay. It isn't. McTominay nods it. Pogba, Van der Beek, Martial. It's a great play here, and he's got space to drive into down the middle. Anthony Martial. This is where he's been so good. Oh, drives the ball, and it goes just wide of the post. Unlucky. I genuinely thought perhaps could have extended that lead there. Martial, who's been so good at that sort of thing this season, just drags his effort wide.
Forward it goes.
Van der Beek picks the ball up. And now he's got an opportunity. Strikes it, hits the post. Bounces back out, and Sheffield United clear. Oh, that's really good pressing. Lingard picks it up, and he's got runners. Van der Beek, he gets taken out for his troubles. Pogba picks it up. Martial even strikes it. Safe from the keeper. Sheffield United really living on the edge now, as we're coming close from far out. Lingard picks it up again. It's poor from Sheffield United. Martial finds Rashford. Rashford, great touch. Goes to goal, blocked. Can Martial get onto it? It's a corner. Let's make a substitution or two here. I'm just trying to think about the freshness. We're really dominating. We're going to bring on Mason Greenwood for Marcus Rashford. The reason Rashford played today was, of course, he did score in the last league game against Chelsea, so we sort of wanted to continue that as well. We'll take off Donny van der Beek as well. He's done a great job today. You know, no need to expend his energy anymore, and we're going to give Angel Gomez an opportunity in the league for the first time this season. Wan-Bissaka, Pogba. He'll come out wide to Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis has Gomez in space, actually. Angel Gomez picks up the ball. Strikes! Oh! Well, that may have been sailing into the top corner, actually. But it falls just wide, but he picks up some space again, and that's something they really can't deal with, actually. That flat central midfield free for Sheffield United, really not working. They need someone to drop off. Oh, this is literally all they do, just pass it around the back. Full time in the end, 2-0, a good result and a good performance. We really dominated that game. That's a good way to introduce ourselves to Superstar anyway. That man there played really well, Harry Maguire. The whole team played well, to be fair. We got a lot of chances in the second half, created more, as I was saying, with that flat midfield free for Sheffield United. We were just able to pick up pockets of space in between the midfield and the defensive line. And that was how we were able to just get off so many shots from outside the box. They'd really crowded out the area with 5 at the back. So that was really where we could hurt them. And we were unlucky not to score more, to be honest, not to extend the lead. For sure, though, a very good start to life at Superstar and a pleasing performance. In terms of the other results, looking at the teams around us, Chelsea won, Man City won, Tottenham actually draw against Crystal Palace, which is drop points for them, as do Liverpool as well against Wolves, and Arsenal beat Southampton, which means the league table now looks like this. Still 1 point off Manchester City. They keep the pressure applied. They've only conceded 1 goal so far this season. They're looking strong, but so are we. We are the only unbeaten team so far, and it's going well at the moment. Chelsea and Liverpool make up the rest of the top 4, and Leicester and Everton and Norwich are in the, I guess the Europa League places, which is perhaps less as a surprise for someone like Leicester. Very strong team, you know, I can certainly see them up and thereabouts at the end of the season. Right, so guys, on to our notifications. Negotiations with James Maddison. He has accepted our offer, which is big news indeed. All we have to do is sign off on the deal. That'll be a brilliant signing for sure. He will join in January, so I look forward to that. Elsewhere, we've got a couple of offers for our players as well, so let's go and check them out and see what exactly we should do. So we've had a loan offer from Sheffield Wednesday for Angel Gomez. Now, of course, we did put him up for loan in the last episode, I think it was, and something now is sort of not wanting me to reject this. He has, of course, just made a couple of appearances and played really well. I'm feeling like now perhaps his development would be better served staying at the club and being in and around the team. So, you know, I'll hold off. I'll hold fire on that offer for now. I won't reject it yet. We'll see how the next few games play out. Of course, James Garner. Why do I keep calling him Joe Garner? I know his name is James. So why am I saying... Literally, what is wrong with me? Why am I saying Joe? It's James. James Garner is, of course, already going out on loan to Al Morfida. That will take place in January, so we'll see how his development can be served going there. And, of course, an offer for Eric Bailly from Athletic Bilbao. Nice and realistic. They go and sign someone from Ivory Coast, so that's great. 14.6 million they are offering. We do want more than that, something closer to his market value of 22 million. Well, yeah, we'll ask for that then. They do actually have a player who I have kept an eye on in Iñaki Williams. So I'll see if maybe we think about offering buying a trade deal for him, because I do like the look of Iñaki Williams. He's a player I'm very high on indeed. So, yeah, we'll have to think about that. We'll see what they respond to this renegotiation first. And in terms of incoming signings, James Maddison, 30 million is the fee, and the salary are just over £50,000 per week. Let's accept it. That's it. Delighted to have him coming into the club. Can't believe he's only rated 78, to be honest. He's a tremendous talent. I think he's going to be a really good player. But hopefully we'll be able to grow that as he joins us. He will move in January. So we've got that to look forward to in the winter transfer window. So I've decided, guys, that we are going to play the Aston Villa game as well in this episode. I think I might as well get another game in. Why not? So this is the lineup I've decided to go with. Just one change to the team that beat Sheffield United. Mason Greenwood does come in for Marcus Rashford, who drops to the bench. Daniel James and Luke Shaw also come onto the bench as well for Angel Gomez and Diogo Dalot. So apart from that, we are pretty much good to go. Looking at the Aston Villa side, a couple of strange decisions again, like Tom Heaton not starting, you know, Henry Lansbury starting. Really, some just, you know, odd decisions. They've also signed Tamori on loan, who's a very good player. He can't get a start either. Bear in mind, they've already got about 6 centre backs. So there you go. Hopefully this will play into our advantage today, because there's a few odd rotation pieces there. But apart from that, I think we're good to go. Just having a look at the table, they are in 11th place. So they've started okay. Very inconsistent sort of initial run to the season on 8 points out of 7 games. So yeah, so far I guess so good for them. They'll of course be looking to try and avoid relegation, but for us it's all about continuing our unbeaten run. So without further ado, let's begin.
Well, we have the most perfect day for you. A warm hello in every sense of the word. The sun is out and football has a special place on this most idyllic of days. A fixture ahead of us to which we've all been looking forward for so very, very long, and it means so very, very much. The scene could not be more beautiful. The pitch looks terrific. The players are ready to get started, and we cannot wait for the contest that lies ahead. So what a stage.
As Peter Drury says, it's a fixture we've been looking forward to for so very, very long. So let's get into it. That's good play. Van der Beek, can he offload it to Martial? Yes, he can. He's got an overlap. Jamal Lewis. Lewis comes inside to McTominay. Martial. Greenwood lays it off to Van der Beek. Can he go back? He can indeed. Greenwood with an opportunity. It's good keeping from Kalinic to rescue a goal there. McTominay. Martial. Got a couple of players making runs actually. Lewis. Back into Martial. Into McTominay. McTominay to Van der Beek. Turns well. Strikes it. Save from Kalinic yet again. And we're pressuring early here. Martial, he's going to go for a bit of kick and rush actually to Greenwood, and it comes off as well. Greenwood's going to come inside to Van der Beek. Van der Beek, oh, he can't hold possession there. Manages to recover. Wan-Bissaka. Greenwood. Great touch. Goes for goal. Oh, somehow it sails past the post. I'm not sure how. I thought that was nailed on for a goal as soon as it had left his boot. It's a brilliant touch from Greenwood to take it away from the defender, and somehow it just doesn't sail in to the net. Still 0-0. Jota's found space down the wide areas again. He's going to whip it in. Oh, Wesley coming close. Perhaps we should deal with that better, Jamal Lewis. Again, getting on the wrong side of Jota. Jota whips it in, cuts back onto his left foot. Lindelof actually applies the pressure to Wesley there, which I think puts him off, and it actually goes out for a corner. It's actually a good run from John McGinn here to penetrate the defence. He'll come back to El Ghazi, who can whip it in. Header from Wesley, hits the side netting. But that's a warning for us there. As a centre midfielder, just advances at the field, and we sort of look a bit lost after it. Maguire can't quite challenge Wesley in that situation. Oh, well won by Wan-Bissaka. He's in a brilliant position here. Into Greenwood. Greenwood, get the shot away. Come on. Oh, that's a poor pass as Aston Villa try and play it out from the back. And Lingard now. Can he play it? Come on. Come on. Come on. Jesus, how many times have I pressed pass? It is cool. Just thinking, can we make a substitution or two here? There's not happening. Greenwood, actually, I'm going to take him off. Bring on Rashford. I'm going to take off Van der Beek as well and bring on Juan Mata. I'm actually going to bring on Luke Shaw for Lewis as well, who's perhaps not had the best of games.
Time for a change in personnel. Straight back.
He's going to come out to Wan-Bissaka. That's a good ball. Wan-Bissaka's got a bit of space. Rashford's peeled off. He's going to be offside. It's a goal, but he's going to be offside. It's a poor run from Rashford, that is. He's miles off. Come on, you've got to be more aware than that. And that's going to be the game right there, I do believe. As Kalinic kicks this up. Yeah, there it is. Full time, 0-0 in the end. Disappointing result. We've got to beat these teams who are probably going to be languishing at the bottom. We've got to be disappointed with that. In the end, we just couldn't break the deadlock. Yeah, it's so hard to break teams down because, one, they're passing it about the back for ages and you can't really get line spell of possession, and two, it's just everyone in the box and not a lot of intelligent runs, as we saw with that Rashford run at the end. So we've got to be very disappointed with that in the end. 0-0. Maintain our unbeaten record, but, you know, it doesn't mean a whole lot. Drawing is not for me. Man City also draw, which means we do retain our lead at the top of the table, and then 3 teams below us on 19 points. That is, you know, really tight stuff. Top 4 really starting to pull away already now from the rest of the pack. So that's very interesting as we head almost into November now. So we got some messages from our assistants and stuff. Bid for Juan Mata from Tottenham. We'll have a look at that. Mason Greenwood has a nickname, the Goal Machine. Fantastic. Apart from that, national team call-ups and stuff, we'll have to bear that in mind for future selections. But let's have a look at this Juan Mata offer from Spurs. They're offering 18 million. To be honest, I don't really see the point in releasing him, especially not to a rival who's playing quite well. We don't want to strengthen them, so we are going to reject the offer. He does actually have a release fee of 23 million, so we need to bear that in mind in the future, should we want to, you know, perhaps change his contract details. No word on Eric Bailly's transfer bid yet, so we'll keep that in mind for now. But at this point, I think it's time to round off the episode. There's only one that we can come back for in the next episode, and that is this one. The big one against Liverpool away at Antwerp. That is a massive game, and can't wait to play that one. We could also do a double header, I guess, because Leicester there as well. That's going to be a really tough game. They, of course, are 5th, and they're really enjoying a start to the season. So perhaps a blockbuster double header of Liverpool and Leicester is what's in store for us next. So looking forward to that episode for sure, and I hope you guys are going to join me for that. On this note though, we are going to round it off. If you've enjoyed the episode, please leave a like to show me that you are enjoying the series, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you get all notifications every time I upload. I really do appreciate that. On that note, we are going to round it off there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.